We are. Welcome. Good morning. It's Friday. It's the morning. I just got done doing JW's radio this for tomorrow, for Saturday. Yes, we do it on Friday and everything. So what do we got here? What are we talking about? What did we get going? Well, we talked about the news and things like that that's going on. Had my coffee. We're drinking the good stuff today. We this morning had the Kona coffee, just good stuff. All right, yeah, rolling around. It's 10 o'clock already. Wow, we are burning daylight. So, yes, this definitely doing the JW's radio eats up a good chunk of time in the mornings because it's not just the initial filming and getting all the topics ready, but it does. It's usually. Probably takes about an hour to do the whole bit. Set everything up, get the backdrop going, center the camera right, bring out everything. So now what I'm starting to do is take notes on topics that we're going to run through and talk about so I don't forget anything. I seem to be forgetting some topics sometimes after the radio goes up. So anyway, talked a little bit about the Rooster Shooter, the John Wayne pistol. Basically talking about how we made a range video, and hopefully that we'll take a look at that, and that'll be popping out on the channel soon. Okay, got the usual wipes here. We only brought out a few guns this time. Got out the old pre-Model 10 Smith, as it's my favorite snubby. It really is. I know there's a lot of other ones on the table and everything, but this one's got just more history with me that I really. This is the first time I ever chased after a gun that was really eating at my brain and just like, what is that gun? I gotta have that gun. And that comes from the movie Witness with Harrison Ford. This is what he had, and it shows a nice close-up look at it when the little boy pulls it out of the drawer. He finds it, and Harrison Ford kind of schools him a little bit on gun safety. So that scene right there has stayed with me ever since I saw it. Just the look of that gun was just cool. I just loved it. The other thing we brought out was a rifle for a change, is the Rossi 62. I brought this thing out. Gotta clean it up and inside. The outside is looking good, but I must say we have not cleaned it up. Definitely needs to have a bore brush ran through it so it doesn't get eaten up. Maybe what we'll do, spray a little of this silicone down the barrel. Some people actually think it's crazy to spray oil down the barrel or anything like that, but actually, if you're shooting like what I shoot out of that gun a lot, if you're shooting the CB shorts or where's this other stuff here? Stuff we goof around with or kill rats with or stuff like that. This stuff, it's called Super Caliber. Actually, this is the one from the video we did. You can check it out on Batjack JW. If you just look for it, I think it's called Quiet 22s or Silent 22 Ammo. That's what it's called, the video. This stuff is powderless. It just is propelled by the primer. And it's a 20 grain bullet, and it's just propelled by the primer. And I shoot it in that rifle a lot. You're not really supposed to, but because it could get stuck in the barrel, but that's why I spray the barrel down with silicone or something, so it doesn't get stuck in there, and it's easier to clean it. So anyway, that was kind of it. That's kind of what we did this morning. That's kind of what we talked about. So, but now my hands are all oily from that rag, so I'm gonna wash my hands, get cleaned up, and let's get this day started. Okay, so I just looked at the JW's radio. We got 33 minutes roughly on this one, so it's another It's another over half an hour. But I did ask that question once to see if you folks actually liked that. A lot of you didn't mind. A lot of you actually support it anyway. So glad you do. Glad you watch it. All right. So yeah, getting close to the end of the day here. Been kind of a busy morning, interesting people as it is. To the end of the day, I hope it comes soon. I'm a little hungry, so I'm definitely going to stop off somewhere or get something to eat before I head home. And that's it. That's a Friday down until we get home. We'll see what that probably just sit there, watch old movies again. Heading home. Well, I guess I'm going to stop off and get some food first, right? It is hot out. Got to be around 95 degrees out right now. High humidity for sure. And is this a new gas station up ahead? That'd be nice if it was. Might be. I don't know. It says it's $2.91 a gallon for regular. $2.91. What is it? $3.01 for premium or something, or no, E-free. And it's $4 for diesel. Well, it is what it is. Okay. Well, I guess it's off to find some food. Alright guys, coming to a close to the vlog. Anyway, it's kind of a work day vlog. But really what it is behind the scenes of JW's radio. What goes on after the aftermath and all that kind of stuff of after we done filming. Gives you guys a little peek about what the JW's radio is going to be about. So look forward to that Saturday morning. As always, I enjoy making them. It really is really neat because it gives me a moment and time to just kind of slow down on the main channel and just kind of reflect and say, this is what's going on. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit, share something a little bit with you about some movies, because I honestly I feel really blessed in a sense to know of a lot of these really cool movies that I know about because of my father. Growing up, I got to watch a lot of cool movies, and so much of how today's movies just don't do it. There's rarely, I've said this many times on vlogs, there's rarely a movie that comes out that I really want to see. And it's so interesting that for me, I get this a lot, and I think it's really sad that I hear people say, oh, well, this is kind of an older movie, and you know, whatever, and they're referring to something that's like probably 96 or 97 or something like that. Now I know I'm not an old person. I'm not. I mean, of course, that's some of this stuff. Was just whatever. You can look at it either way. But when I talk about stuff that's older, I'm referring to stuff that's Casablanca, Key Largo. With Edward G. Robinson, things like that. When you look at some of the videos that talk about old horror movies, The Mummy, Dracula, things like that. I'm a big fan of Vincent Price. Man, Vincent Price. I have this actual box set that I found at Costco one time, and it's got Vincent Price has got his ones that everybody knows, but then there's ones like these ones there's one with Peter Lorre, and it's about the Casa Monte Cristo, I think it is. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I remember being fascinated with the story in English in school. We read it, and where he buries his cheating spouse and her lover in the wall. That was just like, I remember, I love that when Peter Lorre's just drinking the wine. Oh, this is a Burgundy. And everybody's like, but this guy, like laughing at him, but he's actually on cue with it. So anyway, I grabbed a little stack of some movies that I felt like are somewhat, maybe to somebody that is into movies that just gives you kind of a sample flavor of where a lot of movies that I watch. I just grabbed this stack of movies that I just kind of have They're my all-time favorites. There's a lot of them that are not in there, but these are just kind of the brief ones right off the top that may be somewhat obscure to some people, and some people may be like, duh, that's definitely one to have in there. So first up on the list is a really cool movie, and I forgot how I originally saw this, but once I saw it, I had to have it, and it's called The Great Train Robbery with Sean Connery and Donald Sutherland. Really cool movie. I really like this. It's really elaborate. One thing I really liked was, man, if you look at some of the sequences, Sean Connery's literally on the train. So, speaking of trains, let me go grab one other movie because I know I have it somewhere. I just want to find it with you. Speaking of trains, because and somebody hanging off the train, which looks pretty real in it, and it's a movie that by an actor that most of us. I guess you should know who he is. I hope. Come on. Steve McQueen. The late, great Steve McQueen. One of my favorite actors. Taken from us way too soon. Absolutely. When I think about how young he was passing away, I get sad. It really is, because he's such a phenomenal actor. This was one of his last films. So many people don't know that. They usually think of Tom Horn. Actually, this came out later. This is 1980. This was his final film, and absolutely a knockout film. It's great. He's a bounty hunter, and he goes after a couple guys. And actually, there's a small sequence there on the back. There he is on the train. It's really cool because it's like, wow, he's really there. So one of my favorite movies with him, other than this one, would probably be Cincinnati Kid. I really like Cincinnati Kid, one of my favorites, just because you got Edward G. Robinson in there as well. It's a great poker movie. I love the way they're just, in the end, they're in that little room and doing all that. And I like when the guy's like, the big guy loses his hand, he just grabs his, thanks a lot, Lancey, thanks a lot. He says, he wasn't too lucky, was it? Was he? And McQueen says, he never was. So, and I think they call the guy Pig. So, alright, let me put that one. Alright, next up on the list, get this rolling. By another one of my favorite actors. Charlton Heston, Soylent Green. Alright, and hey, Edward G. is in this as well. Edward G. Robinson. What's so funny? Nothing. Then why'd you laugh? From Key Largo. I like that. But anyway, Soylent Green. It's also got Chuck Connors in it. Absolutely great movie. I love this, and how in so many ways it is relevant today. It is, even though it is set in the year 2022, for there in the 70s, this was pretty amazing. Pretty cool stuff, and I love things from that era. The 70s is just something about it. Really cool stuff. Alright, moving along. Speaking of Charlton Heston, obviously The Omega Man. Really great movie. I never cared for the one that they did with Will Smith. I didn't even go see it. I just was like, that you can't. No, I'm sorry. You don't. This is pretty hard to beat. What was this? 1971. So, my dad actually told me about that. I remember when I was a kid, my dad was telling me about it and just like saying, "Oh man, this is, you know," I mean, just hype. And I tell you, I can't believe how many times we scoured video stores back then. Of course, VHS, trying to find it to rent it. And when we finally did, I was like, oh, and fell in love with the movie. So next one up is a Clint Eastwood. It's a little bit of older, later film, not older, later film that he did, 1989 or 88, I think it was. Let me see here, 89. Pink Cadillac. Pink Cadillac is a cool, funny movie. I like it. It's just got good humor in it. Clint was getting a little older, but not too bad. He was still rocking and rolling, still pulling it off. It's just kind of one of those weird ones that I like. Even though my dad goes, "What, you like that one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I actually do. I like that one." So there's just something about it. It's really humorous. Okay, on the cop films. Okay, obviously, John Wayne, my favorite guy. My all-time favorite actor. Obviously, you got a big poster of him. You can't really see it. Croyle can is in the way, but I got a nice picture of him right there. Just the Duke, man. The Duke is it all. McHugh is awesome. This movie, because he misses, he turned down the role of Dirty Harry, but which is a good thing, because out came like McHugh and Brannigan, two awesome cop movies by the one and only John Wayne. Speaking of John Wayne, how dare you not see Rio Bravo? Okay, Rio Bravo is an absolute classic. This is just my rifle, my pony, and me. Alright. And El Dorado, which is in a way a remake of Rio Bravo. El Dorado, between the two, the only reason I do like El Dorado slightly better is only because he's got his ivory handle or aged yellow gripped pistol in it. He didn't have it yet. It wasn't I didn't notice it until The Sons of Katie Elder, which is right around 65, 66 anyway. But El Dorado and Robert Mitchum, it's pretty. This is a great. James Caan's in it. That's always like that. Mississippi, Alan Bajillion Drahern. And he's like, Lord Almighty. He goes, just call him Mississippi. Okay, another Clint Eastwood film. Two in this one. All right, Every Which Way But Loose, Any Which Way You Can. Comedy. Love these two. So when I actually found this at the bookstore. See, $8.50. That's 2 movies. Blu-ray. You get 2 discs. That was cool. So definitely worth it. Basically, that was like $4.25 per movie. Even though it's used, can't turn that down, especially on Blu-ray. One of my favorite scenes, and I believe it is from Any Which Way You Can, when the late Jeffrey Lewis, unfortunately Jeffrey Lewis passed away. They're sitting at the table and he's got his bottle of Jack Daniels, and he says, he goes, I'm just talking mad. You're allowed to talk mad to your friends every now and then. He says, you are, and or you can, and you are welcome to whatever. They sit down. Clint pours himself some Jack Daniels. They're drinking. Clyde comes in, grabs Clint's glass, just downs it in 2 seconds, and then reaches over to grab the bottle, and Clint says, look out now, you'll get blasted. He just gets one of my favorite. I must have rewound that thing a lot. I like that one. All right, getting a little older, another one of my favorites, even though he does do there's just other ones that are just great. I'm actually, my friend, she's borrowing some of the other black and white ones that because she's always wanted to see it, never did see it. But yes, The African Queen with Humphrey Bogart, Katharine Hepburn. A lot of people didn't recognize Katharine Hepburn is also in Rooster Cogburn, but cool movie. It's crazy to see Bogey in color, which that was kind of surprising for me. 1951, really cool movie. Like this movie a lot. That's another one I bought from the bookstore. Paid a little more for it because they probably know it's a classic. All right, moving on a little bit. The Mechanic, Charlie Bronson. Charles Bronson, another one of my favorite. Great actor, great hero. I love Charles Bronson. 1972. I remember I had this on VHS, and it was. I cherished that tape so much, and I was so glad to see them when it was moving to the DVD. This was one of the first I bought, and definitely one of my favorites, The Mechanic. They did do a remake, unfortunately. I really didn't care for it. Nothing beats the original. All right, down to the final couple. The 7-Ups, a very underrated movie. Roy Scheider. If you're a big Roy Scheider fan, this is definitely a film for you. Really cool movie. It's really, in a sense, kind of like his continuation from his character from The French Connection. Speaking of French Connection, the last one on the list, The French Connection. Now, I actually like both of them. There is 2 of these. There's The French Connection, the obvious, and The French Connection 2. Both of them are great. It's really almost a hard toss-up between the two because Gene Hackman is absolutely great in this. The 70s, man, just This is it. Carries a cult detective special. Love it. And sometimes makes me want to grab the cult detective special and hold it in my hand as I watch Popeye run up the... Although, it is interesting because... here's a little fact. In the movie, although he carries the cult detective special, during a couple sequences it changes. Like, really, like within seconds. He'll be running, he'll have his cult detective special, and then he'll run up the stairs, draw it again, and it changes to a Smith & Wesson Model 36. And then it goes right back to a cult detective special. So kind of strange. Maybe they just, I don't know why they did that sometimes. Maybe it was because maybe in the case they had to fire the blanks, maybe the cult detective special wasn't fixed with it or something, so they didn't have blanks for it. I don't know. It could be a number of things, but that's something that came to my mind. Oddly, strangely, with this film too, in the end, okay, for the most part, Roy Scheider's character carries the Model 36 Smith & Wesson. In the end, when he shoots the guy in the bus, or the guy that's hiding in the broken down car, it changes quickly to a cult detective special. You can actually tell really right because the ejector rod is free floating out there, and I think I want to say the tip, the knurled end might be missing. I'm not sure. I don't remember it exactly, but I remember looking at it. Crazy thing is, in this one, is the car chase sequence, which is taken after kind of Bullet. This guy is one of the main bad guys, the villains, and he is involved in a car chase. He's the same guy from Bullet with Steve McQueen. So anyway, a little bit of movie trivia, a little bit, a handful of movies that I like. Most of all the stuff I like is from the 70s or before, and that's just kind of where I like to be. Movies today and after that don't really seem to have the soul, and until they do, I'm gonna stick with these films, and I don't mind buying them on Blu-ray or DVD and spending the money on it, because I will get 100,000 times my money back, because I watch these things over and over and over again. There's been some cases I'll watch the movie all day long. It depends what movie it is, if it's one of my favorites. So anyway, I'm Batjack JW. I'm gonna get out of here. That's your little movie special ending. Thanks for watching.